Hey everyone, and welcome back to this explainer. Today, we're diving into something super interesting, a really focused, deeply analytical look at a foundational sequence from Nunu TV. Now, at first glance, the text we're breaking down today, it might seem kind of simple, but as we're going to see, it actually perfectly captures this incredible transition from structured numerical order to just raw kinetic action. We're going to deconstruct the actual mechanics of momentum here, looking at exactly how language builds a framework, dials the tension way up, and then boom, releases it in one explosive moment. So here's our agenda for today. We're breaking this down into three chronological phases. First, the numerical sequence. Second, the preparation phase. And finally, third, the ultimate action. You know, what really strikes me about this source text is just the sheer efficiency of it. I mean, we're literally looking at exactly 7 words here, right? Just a handful of characters. Yet somehow it presents a complete start-to-finish narrative arc in just 8 distinct phonetic beats. There is absolutely zero wasted space. Every single syllable is specifically engineered to push you, the listener, forward. It's honestly a masterclass in brevity and pacing. So to really get how it pulls this off, we've got to take it apart piece by piece. All right, let's jump right into section 1, the numerical sequence, which really acts as the foundation of order. So, this initial phase relies entirely on a strict, totally unyielding linear progression. It's methodically introducing order and literally building tension with every single integer. By using consecutive numbers, the text essentially signs a contract with us, the audience. It promises consistency. You aren't getting any curveballs or surprises here, just that inevitable, steady drumbeat moving us relentlessly from step 1 all the way to step 5. To really grasp the power of this progression, we have to start at the absolute genesis, that singular 1. And look, this isn't just a number. It's an origin point. It isolates the subject and totally grounds the entire sequence. Think about it. When you hear that 1, the silence is broken. The clock starts ticking. Instantly, you're tuned in, just waiting to see what follows this solitary, lonely beginning. Then we hit 2, and suddenly, a pattern is established. This is a hugely critical moment. By dropping this second number, the source material is basically proven to us that the first one wasn't just some random anomaly or a mistake. A single data point just became a trajectory. Now, we have direction. Your brain instantly recognizes this pattern and, almost unconsciously, starts calculating what's going to come next. And at 3, that rhythm, it is officially locked in. The trajectory we started with the number 2 is now a completely undeniable trend. Right at this stage, you start to actually anticipate that relentless march forward. Because the pattern is so deeply familiar, it allows this underlying psychological tension to just start simmering beneath the surface. We know for sure we're going somewhere, we just don't exactly know where the limit is yet. Moving to 4, it pushes right past that basic concept of a trio. It's stretching out the anticipation and really insisting on the climb. The whole structure is getting taller, heavier, and way more robust. As the audience, we're kind of held in this suspended state of counting, our focus narrowing down entirely onto this sequential climb. And finally, we hit 5. This is the threshold of accumulation and the absolute suspenseful limit of the mathematical buildup in the text. 5 acts like this invisible psychological boundary. I mean, it's half of 10, it's a number of fingers on a hand. It just inherently feels like the completion point of a cycle. And the source text knows this, right? It takes us exactly to this precipice and just holds us there. The structural foundation is now fully built and perfectly primed. So if you think about it, you'll see this isn't just counting anymore. It's a measurable, escalating metric of tension that peaks right at the number 5. We're moving from a really low-energy start at 1, pushing through the rising action at our midpoint of 3, and culminating right at the absolute height of our threshold at 5. The data is climbing, the stakes are rising, and the potential energy, it is absolutely maxed out right here. But then, the text pivots dramatically. We shift straight from that static mathematical accumulation on the left directly into an urgent kinetic imperative on the right. It's a total linguistic shift. Literally, just as we get completely comfortable with the predictability of those numbers, the rules of the game change entirely. It forces us to adapt in a split second. Which brings us nicely into section 2, the preparation phase, also known as the catalyst. The introduction of the word ready acts as this incredibly abrupt catalyst. I want you to think about what this word actually means in this specific context. It's a hard command that kicks off a sudden shift from passive accumulation into active awareness. It literally demands that you immediately spike your energy levels. Your focus sharpens. You're no longer just passively listening to someone count. You have officially been put on notice. And that is followed instantly by steady. This is a command that holds you in this precarious state of maximum potential energy. It absolutely refuses to let that tension drop. Ready spikes the adrenaline for sure, but steady is what harnesses it. It's that secondary state where you're maintaining stability and this razor-sharp focus right at the precipice of execution. It's exactly like a drawn bowstring trembling just before you let the arrow fly. Now, notice the acceleration here. The steady, methodical pacing of the integers seamlessly gives way to this drastically accelerated, totally adrenaline-fueled pacing of preparation and release. The gap between ready and steady feels infinitely shorter than the gap between the numbers, doesn't it? Time itself almost seems to compress as we hurtle toward T0. The pacing is literally manipulating our perception, drawing us relentlessly right into the focal point. And that slingshots us right into Section 3, the ultimate action, or the climax. Here it is. All that preceding numerical and psychological tension is finally unleashed in a single, definitive, two-letter command, go. Even the lowercase styling, the sheer brevity of it, it's highly effective. There's no hesitation here. There's absolutely no further explanation required. The foundation was built, the psychological readiness was achieved, and now all that kinetic energy is entirely released. It's the activation word. It shifts the entire universe of the text straight from static potential right into dynamic motion. So, summarizing this journey across the three phases, we can clearly see this perfect synthesis of structure, foundation, psychological tension, and sudden execution. First, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 builds that logical foundation and escalates the metric of tension. Second, ready, steady completely abandons the math to create intense psychological tension and active awareness. And third, go executes the action. It's a literal engine of momentum, brilliantly engineered in just 7 words, to move the mind and body from a dead state of rest right into a launch. Which leaves us with a final, provocative thought to ponder as we wrap up this explainer. The mechanics of momentum we've just decoded today, they really are a universal blueprint for action. We've seen exactly how effectively just a few words can prime us for movement. So the big question I want to leave you with today is this. When your foundation is perfectly set and your tension is at its absolute peak, what happens when you finally hear the word go? Thanks so much for exploring this with me, and keep looking for those brilliant structures hidden in plain sight.